Hi, my name is Darren Stevenson. You're probably watching my YouTube channel. You can also find me on Facebook as Darren Stevenson in San Francisco, and at my blog, wondercloud.wordpress.com. I also have a website called organelle.org. Before I begin today, I'm going to warn you that I'm going to use very strong language, so if that kind of language upsets you, you might want to not watch this video. The reason I'm going to use that language is, there's a number of reasons actually. The first one is that I'm extremely angry. And the second one is that, I'm Italian, and where we come from in my family, we don't have any real restrictions on the language that we use. Normally I try to speak respectfully. I think it's important to do that. Occasionally, however, it's important to break the rules so that we can communicate just forcefully about a topic. And there's no topic that I need to communicate more forcefully than the one that I'm going to communicate about today, which is the topic of cults and their actual effect on the world and nature. So since about 1980, I've become very clearly aware of the effects of what we call religions on our world and on our cultures and on our minds and lives. All of these religions claim that they have some sort of divine message or wisdom to impart, and that if we join them, we will be enlightened and fulfilled, and perhaps we will meet other intelligences of very high orders. We'll be given kinds of gifts that things like eternal life or the salvation of our souls, or deep wisdom, or some kind of a magical ability or safety. I want to say really bluntly, that's bullshit. In fact, it's the most lethal, deadly kind of bullshit imaginable. And when I talk about cults, I want to be really clear. Let's just make a list here, okay? I'm talking about Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Scientology, scientism, which is the cult that believes that science is going to do wonderful things for us and that we don't have to believe in any kind of religion because we have science, that our brains are computers. The Hare Krishnas, Reiki, the Jain movements, Buddhists, Hindus, the Baha'i, Sikhs, Taoists, people who follow idiots like Osho, Eckhart Tolle, Deepak Chopra, Nassim Haramein, and Terence McKenna. Let me be really clear about what the effect of what we've been doing is, okay? Because around 1980, we began to realize that our species was literally wiping out the remaining ecologies of Earth. Now, these are the birthplaces of life. They're billions of years old. They're the most irreplaceable. They're not resources. They're the most irreplaceable beings. They're the source of life on our planet, okay? And we've been burning them down as if we were mowing a lawn to have a party. All of us have been burning them down. None of these religions interfered with that at all, okay? And the New Age religions are really the worst offenders of any of them, because they sat around while we wiped out the ancient rainforests, dancing around talking about how wonderful nature spirits and intelligences from space were going to come down and save us circa 2000. Let me be really clear about what actually happened, okay? I was talking with my friend Eli yesterday, who's a scientist, a biomedic physicist, who had visited the Maori people in New Zealand. Here's what she told me. The ancient kauri forests in New Zealand are gone, okay? We burnt them down like a fucking matchstick, all right? And the people there, the indigenous Maori people, they're so poisoned that everyone knows the dioxin level in their blood. Because once the kauri forests were gone, they had to plant pine trees to get wood. The pine doesn't sustain itself well in that environment, so have to treat it with incredibly toxic chemicals to get into the bodies of everybody who lives there. Those resources, the oceans, the rainforests, the living places of Earth that have now all been poisoned and are being completely wiped out, none of your religions did anything to help them. The Christians actually think that the world is just a place that gets blown up for some kind of apocalypse. Many of the other sort of pseudo-Judaic cults may feel something similar. No one did anything except dance around, pretend they were godlike, practice completely nonsensical stupidity, okay, where they thought like, oh, come 2000, the wonderful, beautiful thing is coming. Exchange electronic garbage on the internet and pretend that something nice was going on. Now, the fact that you might have some sort of a quote-unquote spiritual practice, I have no real problem with that. Here's the problem that I have. While nature is being assassinated, you people are doing nothing at all to stop it. And everything that you're doing is wiping it out further. You drive around in your cars, you exchange electronic bullshit on the internet, and you think that somehow what you're doing has any kind of effect except the opposite of everything you think. You're dead wrong. If you belong to any kind of a cult, any of them, including science, okay? Let's be really clear about what science does. Science is the one way of knowing on Earth that actually believes, and will tell you right to your face, that it's completely fine to torture living beings 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, billions of them, all day long, to torture them to get data, okay? So while you people were waiting for the star gods and the Mayan prophecies and the Terence McKenna DMT elves, here's what was actually happening. Everything that you were doing and failing to do was wiping out the history of life on Earth like it was a luxury snack for a bunch of drunken idiots in the 20th century and the beginning of the 21st century. We've done more damage in 20 years than the Earth was able to build in billions. We burnt it down like a matchstick while we were dancing around thinking that gods and angels and bullshit was going to save us. You people are completely out of your minds. If you think that like love and being happy and like having little joyful Hare Krishna cults or New Age cults is accomplishing anything except wiping out nature, you're completely out of your minds and you need to wake the fuck up. I'm serious. Wake up. Leave your cults. Go take a look at the dead, poisoned oceans. Go take a look at what was left of the rainforest that is now a wasteland or a soybean farm. Try to realize that we've exploded 2,100 nuclear warheads since 1940. We've had a full-scale nuclear war on this planet while you guys were dancing around selling tickets to Mayan La La Land, okay? You people are out of your mind. Nassim Haramein is an idiot. Osho is a fucking cult. These people did nothing. Deepak Chopra wanders around. The guy's worth like the amount of wealth of a small nation, okay? You're wrong. Your cults are wrong. They're deadly, lethal stupidity, and you need to please just stop doing that and try for a moment to understand some simple facts, okay? One, you are an animal, number one and first, okay? Beyond any human culture, the most important thing about you is that you're an animal. Number two, animals cannot exist without ecosystems. The anciently evolved ecosystems are so sophisticatedly complex that none of our ways of knowing and none of our religions know anything about the value of these places. Living places are actually beings, okay? They're the most sophisticated beings on Earth, and we're just poisoning them and burning them down. And while people are dancing around with their little spiritual nonsense bullshit, the corporations are just rising on mountains of cash from wiping out what was left of life on Earth. You need to get a clue about something right now, okay? Pretending that like love and happy, joyful nonsense, lies about the nature of spirituality and the history of religion on Earth, fighting wars over oil and fighting wars over nonsensical quote-unquote spiritual beliefs, dancing around doing drugs in the forest, pretending that mushrooms are going to give you intelligence, pretending that the space people are going to come down and save us from the Palladian nonsense bullshit, pretending that DMT and McKenna's elves are some kind of the source of human intelligence. All of these things, the Buddhists and the Taoists, they did nothing, okay? They sat in their caves meditating. And I meditate. I am a person who has a deep, very real spiritual experience of the things that many of these cults claim to be able to deliver. They deliver none of it, okay? The actual truth of spirituality on Earth is completely unseen by the members of cults. The people who understand what's going on are the people who have gone way outside of all human cultures and touched the sources of those stories anew and discovered what the hell they were talking about. Let me be really clear, okay? I have what I would understand as contact with a non-human intelligence of impossible sophistication. To touch this intelligence for even a moment is barely survivable. If you ever did it, you would never write a book or make any kind of a cult or religion about it because you'd be incapable of it. Let me be really blunt about what these intelligences have to say. The most important thing on our planet is the ecosystems, and our people are so stupid that they're burning them down for ridiculous ideas that are accomplishing nothing except destroying what is left of the most precious living places on Earth. You need to leave your cult. You need to go back and understand what the fuck nature is about, because it has nothing to do with your science, your Christianity, your New Age religion, the space people, Terence McKenna, or any of those people. You need to get the fuck out of the prison of human cultural bullshit and discover where it was you came from, all right? Because you didn't come from a book about gods in the sky. You did not come from people dancing around thinking, oh, the Mayan calendar is going to come down and save us with a new revolution. You were not born from people wandering around thinking that quantum physics will make you into a person who can wish the ancient forest back to life. Those resources are gone, okay? They're not coming back. The anciently conserved birthplaces of life on Earth have been wiped out by you, by us writing books about bullshit, driving cars around, and pretending that cults are going to accomplish anything other than a continuance of our prison-like existence in cultures so toxic that they're wiping out the minds of our children. You are wrong. Leave your cult. Go back to the source of life on Earth. Make the inquiry in person with absolute sincerity, outside of all human culture, outside of science, outside of religion, outside of Buddhism, Taoism, whatever the Reiki bullshit you think you're doing is, and contact nature. Nature is the source of human life. It's the source of our intelligence moment to moment. When you burn that down, our species becomes dumber than plastic shoe leather. Please, don't misunderstand the fierceness of my language. We're killing the sources of life on Earth. The future of our people will not survive the stupidity we've been practiced. Leave your cults. Discover what their sources were. You're going to be ashamed of what you were doing. You're going to realize you were completely out of your mind on nonsensical bullshit. It was toxic, and while you were dancing around, they wiped out the remainder of life on Earth. The oceans, the whales, the dolphins that you guys love and post millions of images of, all those beautiful places that you think in your electronic images you're somehow celebrating, you're assassinating. That behavior wipes out nature. When you post all that crap online, when you take pictures of things and tell people that the oldest Methuselah tree is in the White Mountains, you're wiping it out, okay? You're killing exactly the things that you think you're celebrating. Wake the fuck up. You're wrong. Get a taste of nature. Leave human culture. Discover where all of this crap came from. Because all you've got here is a bunch of for sale plastic bullshit, and it's not worth crap. Stop pretending that love is going to solve anything. You need to get out there and do something. Stop driving your fucking car, okay? Stop using so much resources that a single Westerner is using enough power, resources, and natural ecology for 1,000 people to live for 10 years every month. Wake up. You're wrong. You're on the wrong side of the battle completely. Nature won't survive your stupidity for another 5 minutes. So please, don't be too worried about my harsh language. My harsh language is because we're raping what is left of the most precious living sources of our own intelligence, health, and well-being on Earth. If you think that's not worth being upset about, you're confused. Thank you. Bye-bye for now. Do something. Get out there and do something, people. Something intelligent that has nothing to do with your abstract, stupid religion. Do it now. If you do, you'll discover what the hell those religions came from, and it's nothing like what you're pretending. Wake up from the dream, discover the sources of these things, get outside of human culture, and get a taste of the fact that you are an animal, and that nature is more intelligent than anything humans have ever done. You touch the mind of nature, you're going to touch a mind so intelligent, you'll forget about every cult in human history like that. That's my suggestion. Please, get a taste. I'm with you in that. Bye-bye for now. Next time, I'll be a little more calm.